Williams. And that bald
Williams
man's cap.
Oh my gosh, it fits. You look.
Oh, look!
Oh, look at that!
Derek, what's the guarantee? Derek?
Mike, time to make history.
Players in Circa Million make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts.
Circa Survivor entries choose one team each week with no point spread. The last one standing wins it all.
We have $21 million on the line. Are you in? Visit circasports.com for details.
Breaking Benjamin. And 3 Days Grace. Live. September 23rd at Casey Center. With special guest Return to Dust. Get tickets now at HiVTips.com. Laser 103.3 presents Breaking Benjamin. And 3 Days Grace. Murph and Andy, proudly presented by Ramsey Subaru, live and on demand across Iowa everywhere from the Channel Seed Studios. This is Murph and Andy. Murph and Andy, connected by cellular advantage.
Yeah, there it is. It's game week in Ireland. Finally here. Game week, Andy. Iowa State versus Kansas State. 4,000 miles from Ames or Manhattan.
Try not to be all cliche and be like, whoa, it got here so fast. I just didn't expect it. Everybody says that, but I've never felt that more strongly than this year. I mean, of course it has something to do with Iowa State being first, but
definitely.
It also just seems like, with the intense heat that we've had, it's just really you're feeling summer. It doesn't feel like football yet.
Yeah, and just to have college football in our coverage start before high school football, that seems different too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you. It does seem like it got here fast. And you know who came back? And I haven't seen him yet. Andrew Downs, are you back here?
There
you are.
Yeah.
Yep. There's your familiar
Urbandale.
spot.
Yeah.
How's the week in Okoboji?
It was fun. Yeah, we had a really good time. Good weather. Yeah, it was a good time. Glad to be home though. And now I am starting to get into that football mode. It's like, okay, vacation's over. The kids go back to school next week. Like summer is really ending. It's time to go.
Well, we're going to go. Let's go to the Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines, setting the table for today's Murph and Andy Sports and More. Coming up, game week, bear down. AD will lean into that. Ooh. And 3 Bluder heat. That's all coming up. Guest House Tavern with nightly specials, including tomorrow's Kentucky Fried Tuesdays. That's fried chicken and sides. Half off select bourbon and whiskey pours. Why wait for the weekend? Just get the whiskey and bourbon going on a Tuesday.
Yeah, that's a pretty good Tuesday night right there. That's Tuesdays are hard to get excited about, but they figured it out there.
Let's get it going. High or low since the last show?
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
You'll find Tim Hawkins and company at wealthcharterretirement.com. You can answer your questions about what to do with your money to make it work hardest for you and start getting that retirement portfolio all shaped up. I'm feeling a sense of urgency, kind of with summer running out on us and football approaching and school coming back to us really, really soon here. So I packed it in this weekend. I had a really great weekend with friends. We had a neighborhood summer foods party on the deck, and everybody brought, they went in their gardens. And this is from my garden. Look at this caprese salad I made. Look at the different variety of tomatoes there. I got Kellogg's Breakfast and Mai Tai and Early Girls and the Green Zebras and a couple other kinds. The Long
Got
Keepers.
some Christmas coloring to it.
Yeah. It was amazing. Look at that.
Red, got some green.
Fresh mozzarella, fresh basil from the garden, and it was amazing. Many things that we had going on.
Did you go indoors, outdoors? Because it was hot.
We did.
Everyone knows.
We had like the outside deck all set up with, the cushions on the chairs, and, the deck was all nice, and everyone stood in the kitchen until they couldn't take it anymore. And they're like, all right, we have got to actually go out on the deck for a little while during the deck party.
Yeah.
And the sun went down and it got a little bit better, but I had like this one fan out there that just was not helping anything. I mean, it was so hot and humid and there was no breeze at all. So you were just it was like you were standing in a thin bath. Is what it was. That's what it felt like. But
kind of a brick oven, hairdryer feel to it.
Really wanted to, though. I just wanted to, you gotta take advantage. This is the stuff you really look forward to back in February. You're like, oh man, I can't wait to stand out in the heat, in the deck, the backyard. So did that, went out on Friday night, just had a really, really, really good weekend. It was a lot of fun. It was a great summer weekend.
I kind of did the same thing, just packed it all in. And after getting back from Switzerland, Jenny went to the fair 3 days in a row. I went 2 days in a row. We went Friday and Saturday night. This is, if you're watching, this is Cooper with one of the most glorious mullets I've ever seen. I mean, that looks like a wig. That's Joe Dirt level, but it's real. Been growing it for 7 years. Look at that.
It looks like a women's wig.
It's not. It's the real thing.
Yeah,
it's great.
That's something.
So we were there Friday and Saturday, both nights, just sweltering heat. Spent a lot of time. You just look for those places that are least shaded, and in some cases where the air is moving a little bit. Mm-hmm. We debated going back Saturday, but decided to go, and glad we did go. It's so much fun, and they just released the stats. By the way, this is JR's South Fork Ranch here. That
lobster roll.
That is the Connecticut lobster roll. That's the foot-long one.
That's
delicious.
The warm one.
That's the warm one. Yep. It is great. It's just butter and lobster roll. That's the one I like the most. It was so good. We spent a lot of time at JR's. That's fun. There's different spots you can move to. You can go inside and listen to live music. You can be like you see here. You can go out on one of the side decks. There's like a patio for beer drinking. There's coolers there. That was a place we hung out a lot those 2 days because you could have a little bit of everything there.
We did the show up on the veranda when you were gone there. Yeah, up on that second floor.
I watched it. That's
such
good
a
show.
Great spot.
Yeah, it is a good spot. That's a good that veranda, as you put it. My dad used to use that word all the time. That was a good place for people watching too. We sat up there for about an hour. I was having the pickle tickle beer, and which no one else I was around enjoyed those, but I did like those. We just sat up there and watched people, and I'm kind of impressed by the fair. You see the stats out today, third most attended fair ever, despite some of the weather challenges. Nearly 1.2 million people. New grandstand record of more than 130,000 people went to the concerts this week. So you see those numbers. And yet, when we were there Friday and Saturday, so crowded, but you could always find a seat. Like you can find a place to sit down. You can find shade. Yeah. It is set up really well. I know it's not for everybody, and some people can't believe we'd want to go 2 nights in a row and it's 100 degrees, but it's fun. I think it really is a cool thing. So that was my high. Fair. Done for another year. Do you think we had enough fair coverage?
I mean,
we had a lot of
newscasts where I don't think we did anything else other than stories that were out at the fair and talking to people at the fair, and Ed Wilson interviewing every little kid that walked by, and we had a lot of fair coverage. We had I feel like we had more than we've ever had.
And Ed is such a familiar face. It's like when people see him, it's almost like they're seeing a mascot.
I was out there twice, and I got stopped a whole bunch of times, and almost every time I got stopped, it was just to ask where Ed was. It was almost like he's like Ed is the big boar or something. Yeah. He's this fair attraction that people look for. And then they would come up and they'd be like, "Hey, Andy, how you doing? Hey, my mom is a huge Ed Wilson fan." And you're like, okay, so it doesn't matter that you're stopping me. You could stop anybody else that you would recognize from Channel 13. You would ask him the same question. So this has nothing to do with me. But yeah, he was either, and I never know exactly where he is, even though we're throwing back and forth with him at if he's at the pork tent, I can tell he's there, or if he's at JR's, I can tell he's there. Otherwise, I don't know. He's out in the middle of a crowd somewhere. I can't tell where he is. I don't know. He's somewhere in the fairgrounds. Just keep looking. You'll find him.
as we talk about 1.2 million people through the turnstiles, and by the way, with the state fair, that includes like Ed paying to go into the state fair, even though he's there doing like 3 hours of endless promotion for the fair.
Yeah,
he still has to pay to get in.
The employees have to pay to get in.
Yeah, everybody does.
Or they need a ticket, right? I mean, their employers have to buy tickets.
Yes, somebody's buying that ticket. If you're in there, somebody's buying that ticket. And
they get counted in attendance. So the attendance figures, I mean, many of those people are there every day. So they're a little misleading, but when you measure it the exact same way every year, you do get an accurate count of, which the most attended fair was.
And it's not going to change when you have 1.3 million people and 130,000 people at the grandstand acts. Why change? It's all working. I've told you my Steve Tuttle WOI Channel 5 story.
The one where he decided to be the non-fair channel?
Yeah. So it's he had been the news director at 13 long time ago, and allegedly at one time, like, threw a typewriter at Scott Pope. I can't confirm that, but that's what legend had. He was a temperamental guy. He was good to me, but he called us into this before, like a couple of weeks before the state fair. He just calls this big news meeting, and he kind of looked like Santa Claus. Again, if Santa Claus had a mild case of diabetes, and he calls the meeting. He's like, "All right, we're changing things this year. We're your non-state fair station. You want the state fair? Watch 13. Watch 8. We're a non-state fair station. We're not going to the state fair. We're not showing the state fair. We're not talking about the state fair. We're not even going to mention the temperatures at the state fair. No state fair. People are tired of the state fair. Watch us." And at the time, we all looked at each other like, this guy is insane. Mm-hmm. But it kind of makes sense for Channel 5 when you think about it, because I do hear from people that get burned out watching all the state fair coverage. So now, with the benefit of hindsight, I'm like, he might have actually been shrewder than I thought.
It's kind of like being the channel that does not cut away during a tornado warning, right? I mean, the obvious thing to do is to cover the biggest event in the state for the 10 days that it's going on.
Yes, all 99 counties care.
That's obvious, okay? But when the other stations who are far more powerful than you, and it's such a desperate feeling when you're at Channel 5, and you and I have both been there.
We're alums.
Yeah, I mean, you have no chance, right? And it's nobody's fault that works there. You have that ownership, whomever it has been through the years, has never set them up to succeed. So you have no chance. So the only way you can do that is to try to stand out by doing something different. And, you did that when you were the sports director there, and you were very good at that, which is why Channel 13 hired you away. But news-wise, I mean, you just can't compete because you don't have the staff, you don't have the experience, you don't have the resources. And so they have to try stuff like that, right? I mean, they almost have to, intentionally and kind of loudly buck the trend and be like, we are going to be the ones that don't do this. So you can, hope to get that handful of people that just don't want that. Like, but
we're your non-state.
But those are people that don't want a real news station, right? I mean, they're saying, we don't want you to cover the biggest thing to cover. We don't, or it's almost like saying, hey, we're not covering the Hawkeyes and the Cyclones. We are all UNI and Drake. That's it. That's all we're doing. The Iowa Conference Division III schools. That's it. You want Hawkeyes and Cyclones? We ain't got them. Go to 8 and 13. You just kind of surrender that audience.
You're looking for Grandview and Drake. UNI, come right here.
Yeah. Tornado warnings. We're staying on. We don't care.
Yeah, we're sticking with it. Let's get the buzz here on a Monday.
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
Providing heating and cooling solutions to Des Moines area families for more than 100 years. The Buzz, as we mentioned, it is game week in college football, and It is the first ever Aer Lingus College Football Classic Top 25 showdown. Both teams are ranked. That's never happened before. Iowa State is 22. The home team in this game gave up a home game. Kansas State is number 17. Iowa State released the two deeps today, again showing that we are getting closer to game time. Andy, is there a point we will reach where I can say or read Aer Lingus without pausing and thinking, I can say this? I don't know why. I just need
to like a point where someone in the crowd doesn't shout, "Look that up in the Urban Dictionary." No, I even looked up the definition of it, and it means air fleet.
Air fleet.
But in Irish, what is that? Gaelic?
I guess Gaelic. Yeah, that's a tough language.
Lingus sounds like that. I'm sure that's a Latin word, but anyway, yeah, it means air fleet. All right, so get your mind out of the gutter, and that does make sense, Aer Lingus. But is that like come and go? Do a lot of people go ahead and buy an Aer Lingus shirt when they're over there? The Cyclone fans.
Cyclone fans will buy them. I wonder what those will be priced over there in Ireland. I do. I've been to Ireland several times, and of course, my dad's grandparents, all the family came from there, so I do feel a pull to the island, and I do have some FOMO going on. You're seeing some really cool pictures and videos of those classic old pubs, and even seeing Williams today on Two Guys. And by the way, what a backdrop he had for being live there. Look at this is Williams live. That's not photoshopped. He's live on the Aran Islands. I've been there before. There's 3 islands, a big one, middle, and then a really small one off the coast of Ireland. You have to take a ferry or a small plane to get over there. And Williams did the show from there, looking more Irish every time we see him. He's got the hat on. And also a reminder, when you go to Ireland, whatever the weather is like where you are, just plan for it to be overcast and a little cooler than you expect.
Windy. Yeah.
Game day temperatures for the game, I think it's about the same every week. It's Fahrenheit, it's 65 to 70 for the highs all week. In Ireland, that's kind of what you expect.
That's what I've never been to Ireland. I would expect that though. And do you have to wear one of those Depression era Apple salesman hats when you go to Ireland if you're a bald man? Is that a rule? Because you've got some pictures wearing it. Not that you're as bald as Williams, but you. Nice,
and I told him, don't wear that backwards up in Belfast, or you'll be identified as the IRA, and your night will end badly.
Those hats, I mean, like Irish fashion, like the Irish traditional fashion. I mean, other than the leprechaun outfit, which I'm sure is not really authentic.
Right.
Does every outfit make you look like you're an immigrant to Ellis Island on your last nickel? Just really drab grays and browns, and one of those hats that it looks like, your wife knitted together out of, an old bedspread. The Irish fashions. I mean, no offense, they're not setting the world on fire.
It's a Peaky Blinders audition.
Yeah.
Whenever you see,
it all looks like Peaky Blinders.
Someone, that hasn't changed a lot in the 100 years.
I mean, you go to Spain or Italy or Greece or Germany or Norway. I mean, their traditional costumes are like bright colors and they're really gaudy and fun. And in Ireland, they look like they're all sitting on an immigrant's trunk. It all looks like Angela's Ashes.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
great book,
doesn't it? Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it's rough.
Good movie too. The Williamses, that whole family, they're there for a week or more than a week. Yeah. Only carry-on luggage. Props to them, because that does make, when you get there, you're so thankful. You don't have to go down.
We did that.
We
did that.
Forever.
Only carry-on luggage. We did that.
But they're not
tough.
sending laundry out. Ashley, Chris's wife, bought some kind of washing bag that I guess is intended for camping normally,
Mm-hmm.
and they're washing their clothes in this bag. You camp? Are you familiar with this?
Not the clothes washing bag, but we did wash clothes in the sink in the bathtub when we were in Scandinavia. We did.
Really?
Yep, hung it up.
So you didn't even send it out to like hotel service or anything. You just washed it yourself.
No, we didn't send that out.
I would rather do that than check a bag.
There was one of the hotels we were at. I think it was the one in Oslo, where they had a little washing machine that you could use in the lobby, but there was no dryer. So, which is, you'd almost rather there be a dryer and no washing, just wash it in the sink. But yeah, we washed some clothes, and then you bought some T-shirts. But yeah, by the time we were coming home, our clothes were really dirty.
You were game. They were a little bit stinky. So this week, first time, we didn't mention this last week. The Big 12 made this announcement last week, but it is interesting. And it's not surprising. I think they're one of the last conferences to do this, but for the first time, they have to announce the availability of players, and there's even a before game update. And this is something that Matt Campbell absolutely does not want to do, because he had players that he listed day to day and game to game that we later learned at the end of last year, and this has gone on for years, they were out for the season. They knew they were out for the season, but they kept listing them as, up in the air. Who knows? It could be in a body cast.
Yeah,
and
make
Campbell
the
would
opponent
say,
prepare for them. Yeah.
Questionable. Yeah, questionable. So there have been jokes out there of, will Matt Campbell just say the whole roster is questionable? How will he respond to this? But they do have to report. I don't remember the exact timeline, but it's something like there's a 3-day or 2-day before report, and then there's another one the day of. And you have to do this if you're going to start, as Iowa and Iowa State have done, if you're going to start making deals with gamblers, and we don't have to remind people about the sports wagering scandal that came out of Iowa, you're in this world now, and you're no longer rejecting the world or pretending it doesn't exist. You're actually part of it now. I mean, I've heard the voice of the Cyclones, John Walters, on some voiceovers that are about the lottery or gambling. I mean, it's all changed so fast. And you got to do this. You got to be able to say who's playing.
Because what I don't really understand all of it, though. So is it because people will ultimately avoid betting on the game if they don't know if certain players are going to play? And because I don't think they care about the accuracy of bets. They care about, or the likelihood that people place good bets or educated bets. They just care about whether people bet, period. Right? I mean, they just, because is there a higher likelihood that people will say, well, I'm not betting on this game. I don't know who's healthy and who's not.
I'm not sure, Andy. I don't think it's that, but I'm not sure. Maybe somebody on here, I see a couple of people on here do sports wagering. I take it to be more like they feel like they owe it to gamblers to be honest about who's going to be in that game so that they can make an educated bet. I mean, to me, that's what it is. Like, say your starting quarterback is out and you hide it right up until game time. I mean, there have been times, and Iowa State has done this before, where
are
you have a guy in a uniform warming up.
The gambling houses are influenced solely by morality here?
No.
Is that what it is?
Try to pass that off.
I mean, well, that's what it sounds like. I would like to believe that that's true. I feel like it's got to be somehow really rooted in money, right? I mean,
what isn't, right? Especially in college athletics. So yeah, maybe you're right. I had not considered that part of it. Maybe they feel like not knowing discourages big time gamblers from betting.
I feel like that's common sense. If I know everything that's going on in the game, or I know if the starting quarterback is going to play, I feel better about going ahead and making a bet on that game. I feel like if I don't, I'm just like, well, I'm not putting any money in this game because it could swing wildly back and forth based on this one injury report. And this used to be a big problem, right? I mean, this was a major sticking point with people, just like, why don't you publish the injury reports. It was what the NFL, right? They were the
Yep.
ones that wouldn't do it. And
Boy, has that changed.
it has. I just wonder if ultimately it's because they won't bet as much. People won't, or not as many people will bet as much money if they don't have those injury reports.
I will look into that. AD, do you know that? I know you have a brother who knows sports wagering better than the three of us. Do you know if that's the thinking behind needing the report?
I mean, I guess I've always assumed it is so that everybody has the information. But when you then take it to the next level of why do the gambling houses, why do the conferences care about that? I have no idea.
Because the answer is always money.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not just so that I can put my $10 on Iowa State and feel confident that I know who's going to play. That doesn't.
The
track.
Duke Slater Field emblem isn't being moved to the end zones because they feel like it's better showcased for the legend down
more
there.
Visible. People
it's
are
being moved because they can sell that space. The answer is always money.
Yeah, we want to feel good about encouraging people to bet their mortgage on our games, right? We want to make sure that they're presented with the most responsible outlook on the game.
Speaking of Ireland, the 1912 coincidence is absolutely mind-boggling. I mean, when you're in Ireland, and as Chris has discovered, the Titanic is everywhere. And Chris went to the Titanic Museum. He stayed in the Titanic Hotel. And the Titanic went down in 1912. And as Hawkeye fans can't stop pointing out, and some Kansas State fans, 1912 is also the most recent time Iowa State won a conference football championship.
Are they wearing shirts?
This team needs to get to the training table. That is the Ames. This is not even Iowa State yet. It's the Ames Cyclones from 1912, and shared the conference championship with who?
Minnesota?
Nebraska. In 1912. Also won it in 1911.
They didn't even win outright.
No, did not win outright in 1912. Shared it with Nebraska. And in homecoming that year, Iowa State played Iowa for homecoming, and Iowa won that game. So 1912. But look at this football team. What could this team beat Dowling's JV?
No. Yeah. What JV? Maybe JV.
They'd be confused by the forward pass.
Yeah, it would be.
They'd be like, "Wait, that's legal?"
I'm sure they're tough guys. What is the conference they're in at this point?
Is it the Big Six at the time? I'm not sure. It might have been. What is Drake?
Missouri Valley.
Missouri Valley. It might be the Missouri Valley at the time.
Yeah, it was the Missouri Valley.
Okay. That's a long.
Nebraska's
long
in the Missouri Valley then.
But you're right. These guys were tough. In fact, you go to Ireland today, and guys like this are walking around in that hat that Williams is wearing, in basically these same clothes with shirts on. I hope.
Yeah, some of them probably have Irish accents. They're fresh off the boat.
Quickie poll from WCI Pools and Spas in Ames and Urbandale.
Do or would you like your favorite college team playing an international football game? Yes, it's a fun change, or stay on campus.
Well, it sure looks like the fans who have already shown up to Ireland are having a blast. They're treating it like a vacation. It certainly looks like more fun than a bowl game. It is expensive. If it were me, I would not want to give up a game on campus. I realize Iowa State didn't do this. If I was a Kansas State fan, I wouldn't want this. I wouldn't want to give up a home game for a game in Ireland. It just leaves too many people out of the possibility of enjoying it. And the best part about college football is games on college campuses. It's why they need to do more of that in the playoff. That first week when games were on campuses on the playoff, that was way better than these neutral sites. But I would say no, stay on campus. But I'm not hating on the fun that Cyclone fans are clearly having and will have the rest of the week.
I think it's fun to do it once. The problem is that the troubling thing is, and John Sears pointed this out last night, is that there's just so much of this now that you're wondering where it's going and where it ultimately ends. there aren't enough games to be giving one up every year for some special location that's way off campus. Or even, it almost doesn't matter that it's not on campus. It's not in a football atmosphere, a college football atmosphere. So it doesn't feel right, you know? I mean, it makes you feel like it just feels weird.
Yeah, it's in a stadium for rugby and soccer and Gaelic football. Holds about 47,000 people.
Yeah, real small. But I mean, once you get into the game, you kind of forget that it's not there. But it still doesn't. It doesn't have. There's just not a long enough season to fool around with the sure bets on the schedule. And the sure bets on the schedule are games like Iowa State, Kansas State on one of those respective campuses.
And that series has been great. Farmageddon's been great. Interact on YouTube, on X. It's Murph_Andy. The email is Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com. It is all powered by our friends with the Cellular Advantage, where you can now get the best of T-Mobile's #1 ranked national plan with U.S. Cellular's #1 ranked Iowa plan. Best of both worlds through the Cellular Advantage. More hot topics. AD, should Chicago schedule the Super Bowl parade now or wait? I mean, 38-0 over the Bills. Bills are picked to win by many people the AFC, maybe even the Super Bowl, and the Bears just thumped them. Is it over?
I mean, that's clearly going too far, Murph. That's exaggeration, and it's just a preseason game. Super Bowl's too much. NFC Championship, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Plan to host the NFC Championship game. Buy the tickets, get the hotels. Super Bowl, I mean, Mahomes and them are tough. So I'm not going that far. I'm pumping the brakes a little bit. But NFC Championship for sure.
Andy, should it matter to anyone that the Bills didn't play starters?
Yeah. But I think, though, if you're going to have a preseason game, don't you want it to be something that gets people fired up one direction or the other? I mean, I would think that the Bills are probably in some dark way kind of glad that this happened, because they've got this alarm bell that they can use to motivate these players, regardless of whom actually played. I mean, you got smoked.
Yeah, you got embarrassed even in a preseason game. And those of us watching Hard Knocks will get to see the reaction play out. I expect it to be pretty strong.
Oh yeah, they're trying to win. Doesn't matter which unit is out there. They're all trying as hard as they can. And on the other side, I mean, when you put up 38 points and you look that sharp in a preseason game, no, you feel good, and those guys had fun. They're easier to motivate. I mean, I think a 38-0 game in the early preseason like this is, I think that probably could ultimately be way more helpful than a 18-15, 17-15 game or whatever. I mean,
right.
Really, this is something that people turn around and go, "Oh, really? Wow, I didn't see that."
Yeah, and Caleb Williams looks sharp, which has been a concern for Bears fans, like AD and many others.
Especially
out there.
a lot of the video coming out of him has not been very good. But it's a new coach, a new offense. Give him time. Hopefully it all comes together.
AD, I got distracted for a moment by some kind of Facebook notice here. Do you know if we're having a problem with Facebook today? It's saying it's not going.
I will check it out.
We had some Facebook participants early in the show.
And have they disappeared? I see Kate said, "Sure glad you guys are on. Never can catch you guys any other time."
Yeah,
you guys are great together. Well, thank you, Kate. If you're on Facebook and you're still seeing us, please send us a message in the comments. We appreciate it.
Oh, no, Andy, it looks like yours is down right now, Murph.
Yeah, I'm going to try to reset that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
all
he's resetting it right now.
Andy, the important thing from last night, Fox has changed its score bug again.
Okay.
What do you think of this? I like the switch. Now, you may remember the Super Bowl where PHI for Philadelphia and KC, you look at the top, that's what it looked like. People really care about this kind of stuff. I like the logos more than the letters. I do feel like it needs some kind of transparent blocking behind it, so it's not just floating there.
That's the thing I don't like about it, the floating, and especially I saw somebody bring up in a snow game, it's going to be really hard to see the white lettering of the score against a white field.
I am sure that this is easy for them to customize in the moment, no matter what's going on. So I wouldn't worry about the snow games too much at this point. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, we remember what this used to look like on the screen.
Yeah, when it used to not be on the screen.
Well,
and you'd have
right.
to wait until they put
would
up the score.
They would flash it up, and then remember when they had like the clock was a camera shot, a lockdown camera shot of the actual game clock in the stadium.
You can see it
remember
like
that?
shake.
And it would shake, like in the wind. You'd be like, oh, the wind is shaking the score.
I'm
time
old
camera.
enough to remember when I thought, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
You can see the clock all the time. This is great. But you're right. Yeah, it would move. We've come a long way.
It's still better than a soccer game where you're like looking at the clock and that's like not how much time is left in the game. You have no idea.
Yeah, add the additional time at the end. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred says that drastic geographic realignment is likely coming to Major League Baseball to help with TV and travel. So they're going to expand, and when they expand, they are going to realign. And there is speculation that it could be the end of the American League and the National League. For instance, Andy, Yankees, Mets in the same division, Cubs, White Sox in the same division.
Yeah, I took a look at this realignment, and I mean, it does make sense.
It does.
The divisions that they put together make sense. There's really only, I think, one that I saw that maybe didn't seem like the geography worked out all that well. Is the Mid-Atlantic division or whatever, where it had Atlanta and Cincinnati and Washington. They were kind of spread out a little bit, but it was still pretty good. At first it's kind of alarming to imagine the leagues and the divisions being rearranged like this, but we've seen this a whole bunch of times. I mean, longtime baseball fans, this has happened a lot. Now, the thing that's really shocking is the idea of, teams like the Cardinals and the Cubs not being in the same division. And instead, you got like the Royals and the Cardinals in the same division. But, in many ways that's just kind of swapping out one rivalry for another. Cubs and White Sox, that's potentially an even better rivalry than it should. I mean, really, that should be a huge rivalry.
It does make sense. This is kind of like the opposite of what college football has done with some of its realignment, where it just torched long-standing rivalries, because most of the time rivalries are formed out of proximity. And when you take the proximity out of it, like trying to make Iowa fans care about a game with Rutgers or Maryland and UCLA, there's just nothing there. There's nothing to even create there. I mean, occasionally you would have, just because of the strength of the programs, something that became a rivalry. Like you can remember in your childhood when USC Notre Dame football games were a huge deal, just because of the strength of the programs and all the Heisman trophies. It had nothing to do with proximity, but most of the time your rivalries like Kansas State and Iowa State, or Iowa and Iowa State,
it would be
based in geography.
Yeah. I mean, it would be kind of shocking. I mean, the Cardinals are in the division. Let's say they go with this model. They'd be in the division with the Royals, the Rockies, and Nashville's expansion team, which, I mean, they've got the Royals, but no rivalry with the Rockies, and then the Nashville team doesn't even exist yet. So there goes your division rivalries. But when you start slicing up divisions with this many teams, I think you stop caring as much about maybe the divisions, because you've got 4 divisions in each league, and you're gonna have a little bit better chance maybe getting in the playoffs. That kind of stuff starts coming into play. But having the Mets, the Phillies, the Red Sox, and the Yankees all in one conference in one division sounds exciting to me. I mean, it really does, right? I mean, that sounds like every game will be on national television type division where, you know, really matters. And then the Brewers, Cubs, Twins, White Sox, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And one of the things that Manfred said that also makes sense is that when you have those West Coast games starting late, they'll be between West Coast teams.
Yes.
Which does make more sense for the audience. And you forget that, like, you know, 80% of the population of America is kind of over here to the east. So you can't forget the West as well, even if it is much less populated. The Cubs are on the field right now against the Brewers, where the Cubs need to sweep this series or at least win this series to kind of get back into the groove a little bit. And tonight, it's a doubleheader with some time in between. But tonight, Lisa Bluder will throw out the first pitch at Wrigley Field. And your friend Jan Jensen will be singing the seventh inning stretch at Wrigley Field. That's fun. That's going to be fun for them tonight. Lisa Bluder, just like her status just keeps going up. Like, talk about getting out at the perfect time too, and turning it over to her friend. I mean, everything was handled so well.
Yeah, perfectly executed exit. And you know, there are so many Iowa alums in Chicago. So, first of all, there's so many people from Chicago who go to the University of Iowa, and there are so many people who go to the University of Iowa who end up moving to Chicago. So there's a strong Hawkeye representation there. So she'll be, and I think she's become almost a household name. So she'll get a warm welcome.
Here from Peter Catfish. Look at this, Andy. Late edition here. But the Cooper with a mullet that I met is a YouTube celebrity from Cole the Corn Stars channel. So
does that...
I didn't know I was meeting a celebrity, but that explains that magnificent mullet.
He has kind of a kit going there. It almost seems like, he's got to have an outfit on if he's going to be out in public.
He was really nice.
What does he do?
There was nothing pretentious about him. I had no idea he was a celebrity. Didn't pick up at all the vibe of, you don't know who I am. I was just asking him questions about his hair and wanted my photo with him because I knew how much you would enjoy that, because
Looks
you
like
have
David
a wig
Coverdale
like
of Whitesnake back in the 80s.
Cooper was a nice guy. I'll have to, that, like YouTube. No wonder it's become this ginormous broadcasting entity, because there's just so much content on there. I'll have to check out Cooper, see what he's all about. Now, in honor of Iowa State playing in Ireland, here's a joke with dry delivery.
I had a rather nice story about a man who drank a lot. And his wife said, if you ever come home drunk again, I'm going to leave you. And he went out to a pub and drank a lot and threw up all over himself. And said to his friend, if I come home, my wife will leave me. His friend said, I'll tell you what, go home and tell her somebody threw up over you and put a £20 note in your inside jacket pocket and show it, and said, he gave me this for the dry cleaning bill. And he comes home and his wife, and he said, no. Somebody threw up over me, gave me £20 for the cleaning bill. She said, why have you got two £20 notes in your hand? He said, oh, the other one is from the man who shat in my pants.
That's great. Good delivery there. Confluence, official beer of Murph and Andy. Confluence proudly serving the new light lager Old Tavern. Boy, I was at that craft beer tent Saturday.
I kind of want to work. I want to work at that tent.
They may have to go to like a dome over there. It just keeps getting bigger. I can remember when they first had the craft beer tent, it was just a little space.
Huge,
but
yeah.
It's huge and it's packed.
Yeah, but didn't it run pretty well for you?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I was really impressed with how it was packed the times that I saw too, and was able to get right in and right out. I kind of want to work there. I want to like pull one shift.
I can talk to somebody.
Can you do that? Can you do that? Pull one shift there? I just want to do one shift.
I know a guy. I can get you in there.
What are you doing? I mean, you're pouring beers and taking tickets. That's like it.
And some tips, I guess, right? You see Hassel?
Yeah,
You
whatever.
see Hassel? They hit Hassel up for a tip at self-checkout water dispensary at the airport.
How did that work?
He went, he got, he did the self-checkout, hit the screen, and then it asked him if he wanted to tip 10, 15, 20 or custom tip on water he got himself. There's no one working there. It's self-checkout. Who would even get that tip?
How long did that spin him out?
He still spun. Let's get some more.
That is good.
But wait, there's more. From Either Or Eatery and Patio.
Rolling into a perfect week for the patio at Either Or. Get past today, hot and steamy, and then the weather forecast gets glorious for the rest of the week.
It's good to hear.
Perfect week/weekend for the patio at Either Or, 6222 Grand Avenue. Before we get started, let's offer up a little prayer for all the city council members out there who not only volunteer but actually campaign for jobs that involve stuff like this.
I'm not quite sure why I'm here or what I'm doing, but there's a reason.
Ma'am, we're discussing the rezoning for the Portillos. Do you have any comments on that?
For what?
We're discussing the rezoning on 53rd for...
Well, I live on 63rd.
Again, we're here to hear comments about the rezoning.
Well, I don't like Facebook, and I don't like the internet because I can't find a job. The library blocked my password. Now tell me, does that make any sense to you?
Joe Gatto, Chris Coleman, Christine Hensley, stop nodding so hard. You're going to snap your head off your neck. This is
You've
look at
seen
the guy.
that.
Did you see the guy behind her? The old man sitting behind her. He's just like, oh my God. Are you kidding me? Oh yeah. This stuff happens all the time.
You've seen enough versions of that in person to know that's not really exaggerated or some outlier example of a city council complaint.
You open a microphone for the general public, you're asking for it. This is what happens. I mentioned a little earlier in the show, we'll hit it again. State Fair is in the books. In the first 10 days of the fair, the grandstand recorded 131,616 concert goers, and that is a new record, surpassing the record that was set back in 2019. Was not a record for overall attendance. Wasn't too far off. The last year remains the most attended state fair of all time.
So is this second or third?
It's second or third.
Okay.
I guess I thought it was second, but you said third. Maybe you're right there. I don't know. I think
It's a lot of people.
It was very close. There were a few days of this year's fair that were had higher attendance than last year's days. But overall, what it looked like to me was like the two really hot, muggy weekends killed our chances for a record this year. We did not surpass last year's totals on I think, any of the weekend days.
It makes me wonder what Saturday would have looked like if the feels like temperature was not 100 degrees, because it was packed. I mean, it didn't seem like you could fit a bunch more people in there, but I know you can and they would. But even with those temperatures Friday and Saturday, it was just flooded with people.
Yeah, absolutely. You wonder how much bigger it can get. They do a really good job at the fair of always adding new elements. And you know what's funny is that the food prices there are outrageous. We know that. This year they let people bring their own food in coolers, food and drinks. And I'll bet you that, I mean, I still saw food lines everywhere. I got no indication at any time that was killing food sales. Now, that's anecdotal, and maybe there are going to be numbers coming out that says that, there were a lot of food stands that didn't do as well as last year or the previous years. But it certainly seemed like it was fine, and I thought that was just a real show of strength for the state fair to say, hey, we're so confident in our product and the upgrades that we've done this year that we're going to let people bring this kind of stuff in, because our goal, I mean, that's the state of Iowa's thing. It's their state. It's the state's state fair. They shouldn't be out there just for a profit. I mean,
I wanted that Scotcheroo shake, and we wanted to try that. What was the egg roll that won the chicken egg roll that won best new?
Kind of over by the stage there.
Yeah, we did find both, but the lines on both looked to me like at least 20 minutes, but maybe 30 or 40, and no.
Yeah, Brian said it was the third highest attendance ever, and I mean look, it's going to get it's hard to break that record. You can only pack so many people in there. There's only so many people in the state of Iowa, as we all know. This out of Storm Lake, Iowa. A minor was taken into custody last Wednesday after leading Storm Lake police officers on quite a chase. On August 13th, 2:40 p.m., the Storm Lake Police Department received reports of a reckless driver in a silver Nissan passing vehicles at a high rate of speed in the 200 block of Cayuga Street.
Mid-afternoon.
Yeah. Officers attempted to perform a traffic stop on the vehicle, but the driver avoided the traffic stop. The driver, now identified as a 12-year-old boy, did not stop for officers, instead accelerated into an active construction area at high speeds. According to the police department's Facebook page, the city's public works department had been patching potholes on this particular street. And to quote the Facebook page, the street had become a cone-lined, oil-slicked obstacle course straight out of Mario Kart's Toad's Turnpike.
Wow.
He zigged, he zagged, and he failed the serpentine. He tore through yards, bounced over sidewalks, and even went the wrong way on Seneca Street, unquote. Officers say the 12-year-old then drove up into the front yard of a residence, attempted to elude police for approximately 10 blocks at speeds over 50 miles an hour.
12 years old.
Storm Lake police say nobody was injured, but he has got a long list of charges, including felony eluding, as the icing on the cake, and a whole bunch of other charges that this 12-year-old little ne'er-do-well has got facing him now. This kid has already got a suspended license, and it's still 4 more years before he can even get it.
It's got to be. Steve says maybe there was a cougar in the car. That's one of the best parts of Ricky Bobby. He's like, yeah, I put a live cougar in the car.
Just driving all over the place.
That no one was hurt seems like a minor miracle.
Yeah, I mean,
this guy was all over. This kid was all over. Wow.
Andrew, put up that picture one more time. Is he he's in a little SUV? Is that like a, yeah. He's like, oh, I got 4-wheel drive. I can go anywhere.
Yeah.
You think you're unstoppable when you have all-wheel drive and you're a young driver.
Old.
Yeah, just going all over the place.
Having over 50 for 10 blocks. This kid maybe should get a license.
This kid should maybe be driving dirt track.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and like nowhere else, just within the confines.
Yeah, keep him inside a track.
All right, let's finish up with this. It's kind of a long video here. Maybe the NFL preseason matters more than we thought. And the fans get pretty passionate. These are fans of the Saints and the Jaguars.
Right there.
Ooh, look at this.
Eat that bitch.
Okay, it's
man,
it's ugly.
These are haymakers.
It's hard to watch. Yeah, I don't like watching this, but these are two big dudes doing battle.
Man,
but then,
Travis Hunter really does it all.
Okay, this is bad. No one there to stop it. Then he takes him down, and then it goes back and forth. Then
These are big dudes.
This is ugly.
Man. Yeah. Oh wow. These
and
are
then
roundhouses.
it does. Well, then the guy loses his shirt, and then watch this. Then
he's going back for more.
There goes his pants.
Oh, dang.
And then he slips on some.
And now here comes Drew Brees.
Somebody had spilled.
Shit.
Oh, jeez. Wow. I don't like seeing this kind of stuff. It's really disturbing, but the guy does lose his pants here.
And is there
Watch
anything,
the pants.
anything more predictable in this day and age than everybody standing around filming it instead of like getting help or trying to break it up?
There's a cop there at the end. Those are two dudes. I'm
I'd be hesitant to get in the middle of those haymakers.
Yeah.
And at the end, he's just roundhousing the top of his head.
What is it about NFL games?
Beer?
And the passion of the fans. I don't get it. We're not an NFL state. Guys fight in the stands. I mean, you see videos of this pretty much from every game, right? I mean, you see.
Do.
I didn't think that the Jaguar fans had this in them. The
I didn't know they had
Saints
this kind
fans,
of passion.
I've seen the Saints fans throw down before in the Superdome.
Dolphins fans throw down.
Yeah. Eagles
Raiders,
fans,
Browns.
Raiders. Yeah, Eagles fans are real.
Eagles,
They seem
yeah.
like they're the worst. Ravens fans, I think. Bills fans have been known to do that.
Chargers fans aren't there.
But Jaguar fans?
Yeah, in a Travis Hunter jersey. Offense, defense, boxing. That's MMA. That's not boxing.
You could put 2 Travis Hunters in that jersey and
Yeah.
still have room. That's your more, everybody. Sorry for that.
All
That's
right.
kind of a disturbing Monday image there, but
Yeah,
the guy's he did lose his pants.
I just hope Kahala's not watching.
Well, and then they slipped on that like spilled drink.
Oh yeah,
The guy lost the fight, lost his shirt, lost his pants, and lost his balance.
Who won the game? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's preseason. Time for throwdowns on Murph and Andy.
Throwdowns. It's Throwdowns. Backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
Let's
Talk
throw
about
it
throwdowns.
Yeah, let's throw it down. Powered by Heartland Tire and Auto, an authorized dealer of both Firestone and Bridgestone.
Speaking of spare tires, we just saw some of those.
Yeah, good segue here.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, Murph, Iowa State returns a quarterback, a couple of running backs, but has to replace 2 NFL wide receivers, and the O-line is always a question. The other side of the ball, last season saw a ton of injuries, particularly at the linebacker spot. What position or groups are you most interested in seeing in action this Saturday?
It is the receiver position because that is the big question mark. I think Iowa State's going to be fine, and they have Burkle and Bramer at tight ends, so I would expect Rocco Beck to go to the tight ends more this season. I mean, I certainly would. You have 2 huge targets, talented tight ends. Work that. But you lost 2 receivers to the NFL, and they're both going to make the Texans. So who's going to step up, and what's that going to look like? And will they be able to contribute anywhere near the level of Knoll and Higgins? I mean, those are big shoes to fill. So that is what I'll watch the most.
I'll go with the running game, if only because it's the indicator of how the offensive line looks, and that's the most important unit out there for the Cyclones is the offensive line. I mean, if it's really capable, then that whole offense can go. Probably no matter who they have. If it's not, again, no matter who they have, they're going to have a hard time making it go. If they run, that running game was just hot and cold last year.
Mm-hmm.
Had some games where it looked amazing, like the best unit they'd had in a long, long time. And then there were other games where it looked really pedestrian, and I'm sure that had everything to do with the play of the offensive line.
All right, Andy, the Big Ten is reportedly looking at options for a 28-team playoff in college football. So now, if you only had these 2 options to choose from, would you prefer a 28-team playoff or going back to the BCS where the top 2 ranked teams just play for the title?
2018 playoff sounds more interesting. I don't want to go back. This sounds like way too far forward, but the first thing I thought when I heard this was like, okay, so this automatically is going to include all of the Big Ten teams in the playoff.
Right.
They all make the playoffs no matter what. But no, it's like seven teams in the Big Ten, 7 in the SEC, 5 for the ACC, 5 for the Big 12. And then 2 at large and two from some other place from, I don't know, foreign teams maybe. You got 28 teams. There's no reason to get all exclusive. But this is too much. Going back is too little. This is a push-pull thing, right? I mean, you make some wild proposal and you end up compromising back toward the middle.
If you could tell me the 28 teams are going to completely eliminate bowl games outside the 28 teams, I would say go with the 28 teams. But college football just is not set up in such a way to support this kind of model because each conference acts only in its best interest. And there is not cooperation among conferences. Remember the famous, what was the Big Ten, Pac-10 thing?
Yeah, the handshake they had.
The alliance. The alliance. Yeah, what a...
ACC also, I think.
Right?
Right?
ACC was in that too. It was a complete joke. They all still continued to have back-channel conversations and stab each other in the back.
Yeah, the Big Ten just destroyed the Pac-12.
It's not like the NFL where you have a commissioner and you can make changes that impact all 32 teams. This isn't going to work in college football. This kind of talk feels like it's closer to the Big Ten and SEC just breaking off and basically creating an NFL model at the college football level. And I don't want that.
Yeah, imagine being unranked and being in the playoff. All right, Murph, check out this picture. What's the perfect cook on your bacon?
Ooh, it's definitely 4 or 5. I think I would pick the 5, which is almost burnt but a little bit of crisp on it. 4 is good too. 1, you might as well just go eat the pig while it's still in the pen. 2 and 3, that's undercooked to me. I'm a big fan of getting crispy bacon on the plate. I'll go 5, barely over 4. And I would eat 6 too.
It's easily 4 for me, and I think I might shade more toward 3 than 5 because I don't like bacon that gets shards in your mouth. You end up cutting up the roof of your mouth with it. Also, you got to think about
carcinogens.
Yeah. Well, too late. Nitrates. With the BLT sandwich, I think it's better when the bacon is a little toward the softer side. It's easier to tear that off.
You don't want it to crumble up and fall apart.
Don't want that. But I don't know.
I think 4.
3, 4, 5. Give me any of those. I'd smash any of those.
Yeah, 4 seems to be the favorite.
I've mentioned it before, but Mitzi's has that House of the Rising bun. It's just all those cinnamon rolls stacked up, and they have crispy bacon chips that they put on it, and it somehow that works. But it has to be crispy, but that thing works. It doesn't seem like it should.
Savory and sweet, those go together.
Yeah, I guess that's simple as that, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, that's Throwdowns.
Thank you, AD. Send your Grimaldi's fan photos. How are these coming in? We doing okay?
We're doing okay. Murph? We could always use some more.
Murph_Andy at ioeverywhere.com.
That's right. This week, or today at least, I'm going with my kids in Lake Okoboji here. That's my son. Yeah, he's doing the deuces, and then my daughter rode the Sky Rider zip line. She was very proud of the fact that she was brave enough. She was barely tall enough to do it. Brave enough to took you like 150 feet up in the air and then dropped you back down. It was fun.
Oh,
150.
Nice.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's up there.
Yeah. My wife didn't love watching my 6-year-old daughter who had to like tiptoe. I taught my kids because we went to Arnold's Park too, which is a fun theme park there, and I taught my kids and the kids we were with. Hey, if you're close to this line, because all the 6-year-olds were kind of close to the 40, it was like a 42-inch line. I was like, tiptoe. I mean, these people don't care that much, right? They're not being paid that much.
Oh, it's good to get them bending the rules and cheating at an early age.
If you really want to ride this ride, get on your tiptoes. They're not looking at your feet.
Well, right. What's dangerous about an amusement park ride that you're not big enough for?
Yeah, why should you be punished for being a little bit shorter?
There was one ride there. It's called the Mad Mouse, and like it wasn't even bolted into the ground. The whole thing was like this roller coaster. The whole thing was like shaking. And yeah, again, my wife, like the kids started on it, and my wife just turned around and walked. She's like, I can't be here for this.
I feel an amusement park fails section coming to Wednesday's Murph and Andy show.
Good.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Good. I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Grimaldi's Cold Brick Oven Pizzeria in West Des Moines and the District at Prairie Trail. And we will send somebody there every Friday on the show with a $50 gift card. They don't have to go that Friday, but they win on Friday, and it's based on the fan and family photos that you send in. So please send some more of those. Time for the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day. We call it the AD squared.
Yeah, game day men's health. I go to Ankeny. Andy goes to West Des Moines. You can go to North Liberty. Wherever you are, there's a game day men's health near you. Free, no obligation consultations. They can test your testosterone level, help you sleep better, help you feel better, help your sex drive, whatever you're looking for. Game day men's health can help you out. A lot of media members heading over to Dublin for this game on Saturday. John Sears, Mr. Soundoff himself, seemed a little miffed that he wasn't chosen to represent WHO 13.
Hey, why is Warrington going to Dublin? I've worked here 14 years. He's been here like 14 days.
Warrington is an Irish name.
Fine. But don't even think about sending me to Stillwater.
Need him to go to Stillwater at this point, I think.
Is Warrington an Irish name?
Not at all. No.
Is Stillwater the worst trip?
I had the worst trip of my life. I was doing play-by-play in it was Big 8 at the time, basketball for ESPN Plus, and I was there and I couldn't get a plane out. I was by myself, so I had to stay a night in Stillwater. And I always feel lonely when I go to a movie by myself. And I went to see Leaving Las Vegas by myself.
That's right.
And
that's where you saw that. That's right.
That Stillwater by myself, Leaving Las Vegas, that's a terrible combination. That is one of the most depressing movies you could ever watch.
One of these years, you will be over that experience.
I doubt it. I think on my final show of my final podcast,
You'll still be regretting that.
I will be Stillwater. Stillwater's probably a great place, but that's my memory of it. Quickie poll results are presented by WCI Pools and Spas.
Would you like your favorite college team playing an international football game?
You smell some Cy-Hawk here at all, Andy? Because Iowa's not playing an international game.
And I'll say, I have as a Hawkeye fan, I have a little FOMO, not just because Iowa State gets a week ahead of everybody. It's like it's game week for Iowa State. The rest of us have to wait. But it's a big game, and it feels like a big spot. It's like it's bowl game atmosphere already in Ireland. People are really excited about it. I would even give up, I think, a home game for something like this. I think it's a fun change. Not every year or anything like that, but once in a while, doing something like this is really fun.
I think you can tell by this vote that Iowa State fans are not on board with this. Some of them are okay with it, but not most of them.
I think it's key, though, that they did not give up a home game. If you're a Kansas State fan, you should dislike this more.
Iowa State,
like it as much.
Iowa State fans always come stronger than the Hawkeye fans in these polls, and the fact that they're losing this decisively, that no is winning this decisively, tells you that there are a lot of Iowa State fans that are voting no in this.
What do you think about this? Because I'm interested. I think the most watched, I tried to look this up last night, I believe the biggest audience Iowa State has ever played a football game in front of viewers, television, is the 6.9, let's call it 7 million for last year's Big 12 championship game against Arizona State. Do you think, I think the most watched Iowa State game is around 4 million a few years ago. I think this will go past the 4 million because it's the only game. It's a top 25 game. We're all ready for college football. They'll have some really cool scenery and Irish stuff going on there. I know the Kansas State and Iowa State are not big national draws for football, but I do think, as AD said, a large number of people are going to tune in to watch this. Do you think they get to the whole 7 million?
It's not a terrible time for the game.
11 a.m.
Yeah.
So it's noon in the East Coast.
Yeah, I think there's a real good chance.
Me too.
I mean,
me too. I think it could be the most watched Iowa State football game ever.
You're talking about the first game of the season. I mean, people just want to watch football again. I don't know that they know that these are two ranked teams. That's why you need these rankings, right? I mean, these rankings add a lot to the games, even though we all admit they don't
first
mean
Aer
that much.
Lingus. That's two top 25 teams. So
we'll see. So no, I think it'll be a really good audience, and I think Kansas State fans will be lamenting that this is their game.
Yeah, they might. Hey, thank you for being part of Murph and Andy here on a Monday, and we appreciate you supporting Local media on Iowa Everywhere. That Iowa Everywhere bus seemed like it was everywhere this week.
Oh, yeah.
So the name is starting to make more sense with Williams in Ireland, and I was in Switzerland, and Andy was in Norway and Sweden. It is Iowa Everywhere. So thank you for being on board with us. We'll try to figure out what went wrong with some of the Facebook feed today, but we'll have all this available to you. We are back Wednesday. We hope you are too.
Murph and Andy was brought to you by Ramsey Subaru on Hickman Road in Urbandale.